The Prophet never propagated Hadith. These are lies attributed to him. This is the whole concept. Hadith was never permitted by the Prophet. It was never authorized. These are conjecture that were concocted, attributed to the Prophet hundreds of years after his death. They're highly contradictory. They go against logic and reason and morality, and they contradict the very words of God in the Quran.
No,
That's a fact.
let him.
Okay? Now, the concept is, you're telling me God in all his omniscience didn't know that the word Hadith was going to be used for his entire corpus. That throughout the Quran, he's condemning Hadith by name.
Among the people, there are those who uphold baseless hadith, and thus divert others from the path of God without knowledge, and take it in vain. These have incurred a shameful retribution. When you finish eating, you shall leave. Do not engage him in lengthy hadith. These are God's revelations that we recite to you truthfully. In which hadith other than God and his revelations do they believe? Which hadith other than this do they uphold?
But when it uses the term dhikr, oh, that means hadith. When it uses the term hikmah, oh, that means hadith. But when it uses the term hadith, it doesn't mean hadith. Look at this inconsistency, right? In addition, God doesn't just use the term hadith to condemn hadith. He uses the term athar to condemn hadith, okay? And this is always what happens when a messenger comes. He takes your tradition and he throws it in the trash. We see this with Moses, we see this with Jesus, we see this with Muhammad. And now we see it with Rashad Khalifa. He's coming and he's telling you, this tradition you're following has no foundation in the Quran, has no foundation from God, and it deserves to be in the trash. If you read Surah 43, verse 23, it says, invariably, when we sent a warner to any community, the leaders of that community would say, we found our parents following certain athar practices, and we will continue in their footsteps. This is literally what you're doing. The messenger would say, what if I brought you better guidance than what you inherited from your parents? They would say, we are disbelievers in the message you brought. This is what the traditional Muslims have done. They will memorize the Quran. They will have perfect tajweed. But when it comes to the actual understanding and application to it, they throw it into the waste bin. And this was the Prophet's testimony on the Day of Judgment that his people have deserted this Quran. This is Surah 25, verse 27. The second you go to some other source for religious guidance, people who have no authority in this scripture, then you're setting up a partner with God, and that's shirk. This is not permissible in the religion. You guys have failed in this regard to preserve the Quran. You have chosen to take on your scholars and monks as lords beside God.